Hello. Just love hopping on here once a week. That's my goal. It's so hard in summer, what day and time works, but here I am on a Wednesday. I'm ready to chat. I am laughing because in the summer, it's like the full sandwich is going on. My mom has her cognitive therapist here who's awesome. She comes once a week. And then I have kids playing mini hoop upstairs. So I hear like banging from that. Kids tweeting outside. I mean, it's all over. It's the sandwich. So here we are. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I really want to start talking about caregiver challenges and relief because I do a lot of one-on-ones with people, and I either have them do a care chat, which is half hour, and it's just a release and they're just venting and like overwhelmed, and I help them decrease their overwhelm. A lot of it is just listening, but giving them some advice. And then also when caregivers come in like 60 miles per hour and their parent has just fallen like mine did 3 weeks ago, or they are realizing that there's mail piling up, or they're not being as upkept and they're just panicking because they realize they are needed more than they thought they ever would. I'm like literally looking up because I'm hearing banging upstairs. Anyway, oh well, all good, all fun. So I just wanted to cover 3 areas today that I think helps a lot of people. It's especially helped myself, and I'll keep showing up for caregivers because we need it, right? I'm in this with you. I am the main caregiver for my 90-year-old mom who has Alzheimer's, who actually lives with us. And it kind of is this great layout. I don't think this is right for everybody, but it kind of worked out really well for our family. My mom is on the other side of the house, so she doesn't have to hear mini hoop above her head, like I do right now, but she's on the other side of the house and she has autonomy. We have autonomy. It's like a nice, lovely situation. But again, if our situation was different and our layout was different, I wouldn't be able to do this. She needs space. We need space. So anyway, I wanted to cover first one for caregiver relief. This is like friendships. Friendships are so key for caregiver relief. And one of the best things I've ever done with one of my good friends. So as I'm talking about this, think about someone in your life that you could do this with. And it is like free therapy. It is like the best release valve you could have. Your husband will be thanking you for doing this because it's just, I'm such a venter and I need to get things out and just kind of vent. You could call it bitching, you could call it venting, whatever it is, but I just need to just like, bleh, just like word vomit, like emotional vomit, and having someone just listen, just literally listen. And it's a listening partner. One of my friends from college, she and I started doing this years ago. And what we do is once a week is our goal. And we will, schedules are busy. We usually try to do it on Fridays, but sometimes we need it on a Wednesday because we're like, I am spiraling. I am losing my mind. And so we'll text each other and be like, do you have 20 minutes? Or do you have, okay, I'm driving. I only have 15. And then we each do 7 minutes. But what we do is one of us will start, we'll ask who needs it first. Like sometimes you can't be a good listener unless you're emotionally available to be and hold space. So one of us might need to go first, and doesn't matter who goes first. And then the person that's talking sets their timer for whatever agreed upon time that you each will get. So say it's 10 minutes. So you'll set the timer if you're talking for 10 minutes and you just talk. And it's kind of like even just a random like rattling off of, you could be talking about personal things, caregiving things, work things, frustration things, goals that you're not meeting, or whatever it is, or I worked out and I'm so mad I didn't do this, or whatever it is. You get the floor to talk for that allotted time. And the other person on the other side is just listening. They're just listening. And it's so great because you schedule it out, you have an allotted time, and it's just like if you were to put a boiling pot of water on a stove and you have that lid on, it's going to blow off eventually. But this is just letting out that steam, and it's free. And it just has to be with a good friend that you trust, that can compartmentalize if you're complaining about your husband or your kids or whatever. That's a safe space that doesn't take it in any way except for like, yes, I love this. We are both in this. And it's one of the most genius free things you can do. I need to talk more about this, and I need to encourage more people to do it because it's so important. I learned this in a parenting thing, and my first listening partner was someone I didn't know. And it was like, it worked great. And we both kind of were like, okay, and we just listened. And my friend Marissa and I will sometimes, like, hey, do you have any feedback on this? Like, do you have any advice or whatever? If it's a situation, we'll do that. And then the other person swaps. And then the other person talks and the other person listens. So what's great is it's reciprocal. And so it's not just one-sided. It is, I'm telling you, it has been a game changer and a lifesaver for me. So I always want to share what's working huge for me. Another thing with friends is getting out and going to do cool things and taking your mind off stuff. And if letting a friend in on like, hey, Thursdays are my hell day. This is when I don't have help or whatever. And asking them to be like there for you, and I always try and send people positive texts or just letting your friends in more. And I'm telling you, the friends I let in and who have let me in on kind of their inner scheme of life, we're closer for it. And I encourage you to do the same. This is just so helpful for stronger relationships, and friendships are just a lifeline. And especially those friendships that you have no need to hold up a boundary or be protective, or that you can't share in anything. So friendships is key. I came back from we got to go to see one of our closest friends in Tahoe. Such an awesome vacation. And as a family, and we came back, and then my husband was traveling, and I just feel like hit such a low, that week. I just was, when you're just so sensitive to everything, I'm sure it was like, hormonal or whatever, but no matter what it was, I was feeling off. I was feeling yucky. And it's so important to have those friends to just be like, hey, having a rough week. How are you doing? And just let them in on how you're feeling. A lot of people that I am helping one-on-one are just like, hey, it's rough right now. And then I just love on them and send them positive vibes and positive, like, you're amazing. This is hard. I've got you. And just when people feel seen and heard, which is key in that listening partnership, it is other level. It's kind of like, remember that whole workout thing of like 5-minute abs, 6-minute abs, whatever, 3-minute abs. It's like you get more for your 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes of listening partner than you would get I can't compare it to therapy, but it is kind of therapy. But you are like clearing out the yuck so you can have a great day or great evening, whatever that is. You get so much out of that time. So this is my invitation for you. And I really want you to think about who that is in your world, that you would feel safe with, and who needs it as well. So it can be really reciprocal, and who would be open as well to holding space for you by just listening, and then also would feel safe to share with you and embed with you. And like I have been doing with the same friend for, I don't even know how many years, 5, 6 years. And it just works. And honestly, in the summer, sometimes we skip weeks if she's traveling or I'm traveling. But we get back to it, and there's like Mayday calls, like, I need you. Do you have this time? And we make time for each other. It's awesome. So friendships, huge. So that is number one. And I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure, because I get like squirrel. Oh, and this. Oh, and this. Oh, and this. My next one is delegating. So a lot of times, a lot of people I talk to, and I found this myself, you try and do everything, you're going to drown. You're going to drown if you are trying to do everything. And they'll complain about their siblings, or like, so-and-so's not helping out, da, 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 da. And I'm like, have you asked them to help out? And they're like, yeah, can you help? And I'm like, okay, can you be specific with how you ask your sibling to help? Like, write out everything that's needed for your parent that you are doing right now. If you write out everything you're doing, and then you take things like medication or, lining up stuff. There's different things that, like a checking account thing or bank, whatever it is, because there's all these little things that you think might be little, but they all add up, and you just have this full plate of all these things. And then you're resenting the person that has nothing on their plate. So if you write out all the things and think, oh, if I can just assign my sister Lucy, these 3 things, oh my gosh, that'd be a huge relief for me. Then do it. And if Lucy doesn't live in town, think of the things she could do remotely. There's tons of things that your siblings or whoever else is involved can do remotely, or take those things off your plate. So delegating. And a lot of times people want to help, but they don't know how. So you got to let them in and let them know, okay, I've got this, and maybe even talk it through, or do a group family text string and be like, okay, guys, I'm handling these things. I need some help with these 4 things. Who's going to take it? And you can let them, or be like, okay, Lucy, the other 2 took these. I'm giving you this. And it is just such a huge relief when you start lessening what's on your plate, because you can't do all the things, especially when you're feeling that overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed and you're the main caregiver, who's gonna help everyone? You gotta make sure you put that oxygen mask on and help yourself, because no one else is going like, really thinking about Barb. Like, how is she doing? I don't know. I mean, I have a smile on my face. I like try and focus on the positive, but no, my husband, who's amazing, isn't like, is she okay? You know, he's not thinking about that. I need to go, hey, yeah, kind of capacity. Can you take this on? And if he can't, I'll figure out something else. But at least I've asked and been my own advocate. So, that is huge. And again, I think delegating, even if there's a neighbor of your parent that you think is really kind of family to you, a close friend, and asking them, hey, it would save me so much time if I didn't have to like drive all the way out there and do this. Would you be able to do that for me? And either get them like a Starbucks thank you, or, whatever it is, however comfortable or close you are with them, doing those little things that would save you so much time and bandwidth in your own life will just start taking that heavy backpack of to-dos for helping care for your aging parents. Will help lessen that load. And then the last thing I want to cover, which I've talked a lot about in my reels and my stories, it has been my biggest lifeline as a caregiver, because the first year that my mom moved in with me, even before that, when she was living in the retirement home, I was her like one and only caregiver. And that is a lot. And I did it for a year when she lived with us. So I did it all. And I was so lucky that when my mom was moving in, I was just like, oh my God, what do I do on Saturdays when my kids have like all these games? What do I do? I don't want to leave her for hours on end to sit and watch TV. And she's like, my aunt is an adult sitter. And I was like, what? Like a babysitter, but an adult sitter. Yes. It is the best thing that ever happened to me. And now Sally, I went from Sally working like 4 hours on a Saturday. Now Sally comes usually 6 days a week for 4 hours each time. And so she's awesome and she's flexible, but finding a Sally, even if you're using it 1 day a week, even if it's your hardest day with your parent or it's your busiest day of your life, it is a game changer. I talked my friend into this, one of my friends from high school, and she was so resistant to it at first because she's like, well, my parents don't want anyone else involved. I'm like, okay, well, totally get that, but say it's for you. Say you need it, because honestly, it's as much for me as it is for my mom. And I said, think about what the things are that would be really helpful. Like she could come in and make meals for your parents. She could come in and just tidy up and like hang with them and be a companion. So think about the things that are the biggest time suck for you with your aging parents. Sally is doing grocery shopping. She takes my mom grocery shopping. My mom, it's great. She gets out, she moves, she holds the shopping cart. They go out on, I call them field trips. So they'll go out to lunch. She takes my mom out to lunch. She just gets her out of the house, which is kind of a nice change for me. And because I have a lot of guilt when my mom sits in her room alone for a lot of periods of time. So she just gets her out. And if I know Sally's had her for 4 hours, I'm like, it takes so much off my plate, so much overwhelm off me, and they just go have fun. And honestly, Sally is, I don't know how old Sally is, but she's probably in her 60s. And if Sally watches this, I don't know, Sally, you're awesome and you look great. So I'm just guessing it doesn't even matter. But getting someone that's a little bit older, that's more kind of like your speed of your parent, I think is genius. Don't get some college kid. That would be a really hard job for a college kid to move at that pace. But I think it's great. And if you don't know a Sally, start asking your local Facebook, like put it out there. And I would write 3 to 5 things that you need. Like if it's errands, if it's grocery shopping, if it's meal prepping or meal making, or just a companion, think about those things that would be saving you so much time and energy. And it's great because a lot of older women might not be doing this, but then you're painting that picture for them of something that might be really helpful for keeping them busy, keeping them on purpose of helping someone else out, and a little extra money in their pocket. And then you guys can negotiate out a rate, but at least you've put it out there. And I think church groups, if your parent is in a neighborhood, put it out there, but someone that lives close. And I believe that someone like, a little bit older and more mature to not have it as such a hard job for them, and just list those things that you need and want that would really take that load off your plate. Seriously, Sally I couldn't be more grateful. And you can try care.com if there's someone out there, but I would be really specific on what you're looking for and how many hours a week, and then start negotiating with someone, especially when it's closer. It's really easy for them. And I forgot to turn off my notifications. So I'm like getting texted. I'm like, anyway, so I just wanted to make this a quick care chat that I want to keep showing up, especially for us caregivers, because I did a reel about it last week and people were like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, yes, I'm fine, but I want to show the side where you are overwhelmed. And caregiving for our parents is one of the hardest things I've ever done. It is, just like when our kids were little, we needed the support, we needed the venting, we needed the kind of answers and help to make it easier on us and do the best we can, right? And so I was just sharing that it is heartbreaking. It's joy giving. I always try and stay on the positive and the lighter and focus on the light. And I always say laugh or cry. And I try and laugh, but you have to have those moments where you cry, because it's really hard. It's unlike raising our kids. You're seeing a lot of decline, and every day is a mystery. Like my mom fell and I was like, oh my God, are we here? Are you like a huge fall risk now? And just things will change. And now I have to like help my mom a little bit on a lot more things. And it's just it's just all of a sudden one day on a Tuesday, you're like, okay, we do this now. And so I'm always sending such a huge hug. I am in this with you. I might be a couple steps ahead. I've been helping my mom for the last 6 years in some sort of capacity, now so much. And it's overwhelming. It's hard. It's taxing. And the best thing we can do is support ourselves so we don't get the burnout. And so we're there to be able to still have energy for our own families and for ourselves. And so I just always like sharing what works for me, what are life-giving things I do, and just sending you the hugest hug and high five and reminding you, because you are so awesome. You are so needed. You are so appreciated that you're even wanting to help your parent in the first place. So if you're not currently, follow me on the sandwich Jen _ on Instagram. And I tie it to Facebook as well, but that's usually where I hang out. And I try and share everything that goes on with me and my amazing mom, again, who's 90 with Alzheimer's, and just want my huge goal is to get in front of as many caregivers as possible, and to not have anyone feel as overwhelmed or alone as you can in this chapter of life. And please share this with anyone you know that is in the caregiving journey with us in the sandwich generation, or any caregiving, really, because it's all applicable. And that's my hugest goal. So I show up daily on stories and reels. I'm trying to do that more. I'm trying to share more, and getting awesome feedback and meeting so many amazing people in the sandwich generation. And I'm glad it's getting more awareness, like perimenopause did. Now the sandwich generation is getting its moment. So the more it's talked about, the less we feel alone. So huge hug, high five, and go rock the rest of your day.